Welcome to the channel. This is Coach Charles on the Soccer Benchmark. Manchester United had a very beautiful game on Wednesday against Leicester City. A game that United really did well. They managed to score 5 goals. Goals double from Casemiro, Bruno scoring, Garnacho scoring. So the goals really came in thick and fast. So we are looking at why did this happen. Was it that Ten Hag was not the coach that these players wanted to play for? Because if you look at the West Ham game, we had chances after chances, but they were never converted. But lo and behold, Ruud van Nistelrooy is in charge. The goals are now being scored. So you're wondering, was it that Ten Hag was the issue, or these players just didn't want to do their job? This is a bounce that happens in every club. Don't be fooled that United is the only place where players bounce back after a manager has been sacked. No, this is a phenomenon that happens in every other team worldwide. When a coach loses his job, the players want to impress the new coach. So they give him the best performance, and it happened when Jose left, when Ole left, when Louis van Gaal left. This has been happening where players decide to perform when the coach is fired. So we are going to look at 5 things that we saw in this game. And before we do that, now, if you've not subscribed to this channel, this is your moment. Click on the subscribe button so that we can move together. Ruben Amorim will be joining Manchester United way later, after another 3 games under Ruud van Nistelrooy. Because I think we have the Chelsea game, POAK game, and then we have the game against Leicester. So after that, then Ruben Amorim will join. Something that I don't know why it is happening, because I believe if you sign a coach, you should be able to come immediately. We needed this coach as soon as yesterday for the Leicester game. The fact that it was announced that he's joining Manchester United and still he's not gonna be here, that is just a problem to me. Why is he not gonna come immediately? Because we needed this guy on the touchline at Chelsea. Not that he's gonna make any big changes to the current squad, no, but the fact that he's there, his mere presence will have been something for this game, because these are 2 games that will likely get 6 points out of them. If Amorim was supposed to be there, or was to be there, these games will have been won easily. If Amorim was to be at the touchline, I can assure you the game at Chelsea will have been way easier. But anyway, that is for later. Now, 5 things that we saw in this game. Manchester United against Leicester. Number 1, Ugate Casemiro axis. That was a beautiful showing from those 2. In fact, pairing those as a twin sixes was just beautiful, because when Casemiro was up in front, Ugate covered him. When Ugate was moved forward, Casemiro covered him, and Casemiro was covered in glory because he did so well, knowing that Ugate is behind him. And Ugate really played so well. His passes, his tackles, his defensive knowledge, he was always in the right place at the right time. And the pairing between him and Casemiro was really beautiful to see. And if this is the future of United, we need to see this happening more and more. A game like the Leicester one was a bit easy because they played their second string team. However, the Chelsea game is coming thick and fast. We need to see this pairing, because Chelsea will not make it easy for us in the midfield. So pairing Ugate and Casemiro is something that can yield a lot of dividend, and I think the coach Ruud van Nistelrooy will be able to repeat this, so that we can be able to see a much more balanced team. Number 2, goals galore. Finally, our front line decided to fire. Our front line decided to score. Goals decided to come from Manchester United, from the midfield, from the attack. It is beautiful to see goals. So it means that these players can be able to score goals. But why were they not scoring? What was the issue? How come that they were not able to convert these chances at West Ham, but now they are converting them against Leicester? And basically, if you look at our first half against Leicester, it resembled the game we played yesterday, because it was so easy breaking this defense for West Ham. So how come we could not score? But finally, we got goals, and goals galore. Number 3, intensity. This team played with a lot of intensity. The way they were pressing, everyone was in sync. Everyone was pressing from defense to attack. We were able to see a lot of movement from the midfield, from the attackers. The players were never given a chance. Even the goalkeeper was pressed. He had to kick some balls outside. Defenders had to miss tackles. They had to give poor passes because they were pressed out of the game. And where has this been? All this synchronized kind of pressing, where was it? I have a feeling that Ten Hag was the issue, because these players, whatever they're showing us, they could have done under Ten Hag, and we could have had a lot of success. But now we are seeing it. It means that these players can be able to do this. And if they keep this kind of momentum, with the new coach coming, I have a feeling that we are gonna have a successful season. Now, I have a video that talks about what a successful season will look like under Ruben Amorim. and that is coming very, very soon. Number 4, Rashford. What is wrong with Rashford? Every other manager complains. His attitude, his body language, his generally participation, you know, he gives you 30% out of 100% every other day. Only on days when he feels like that is when he fires. Like the game against Leicester, Rashford was a passenger basically. And why do coaches still insist on playing Rashford? So he's the most senior player currently at Manchester United. So why is he not giving his all? Why is it that every time we have to talk about Rashford, this, Rashford, that? His performance was pathetic. Basically, you agree with me or not, his performance was below par, and I have a feeling that Ruben Amorim, knowing and hearing what people have been saying about him, Rashford may be bound to the bench for the longest period of time, because we have Ahmad. Ahmad is a player that gives you quality, gives you control of the game, he gives you composure, he gives you crosses, he gives you goals. He's able to hold play, he's able to bring others into play, he can dribble, you know, he can do all that, something that Rashford cannot be able to do, and his defensive acumen is even better. So we need a player that is interested, who wants to play, and Rashford is not that player. Ahmad can play that role, and it is a high time the coaches at Manchester gave him that chance that he deserves. I keep asking myself, why did Ten Hag not use this player? Was it that he didn't just like Ahmad, or what? However, Rashford's attitude has to change. He's no longer a kid, he's no longer young. At 26, 27, that is a player that should be giving us performance every day, day in, day out. If he was able to score 30 goals, how come he's struggling to score simple goals? How come he's struggling to create those goals? Meaning that it is all in his attitude. It is not about his technique or his knowledge of the game. No, this is an attitudinal issue that has to be addressed, and he himself should be able to address this matter. Lastly, number 5. This was a new manager bounce. Don't be fooled. These Manchester United players have thrown coaches under the bus for the longest time. So I am not surprised that we performed well. I'm not surprised that we scored goals. I'm not surprised that we were intense. This was just a new manager's bounce, and that is exactly what happened. United players tend to throw coaches under the bus, and Ruben Amorim should be advised. This is not a place where players will give you their all. These are millionaires who do not care sometimes. So he has to really win them on his side so that they can be able to perform. Amorim must set a benchmark of performance, a benchmark of what is expected of players who are given the chance to play. If he does not set that benchmark, then he is just bound for failure, and that is Manchester United for you. Thank you for watching. If you've not subscribed, this is your moment. Click on the subscribe button. Give me a like, share, and let's play football without Rashford.